You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hey all you fat lemons, it's me, Mario. Today will be about the little fishies. Go, 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 lolo! Thank you for that intro from Anonymous, who I believe will be older on February the 4th. So, happy older day then. Well, actually, happy birthday. I've no idea how much older Anonymous is going to be, but I'm pretty sure it's an official birthday rather than, like we all will, just be one day older. It would get quite tiring if every day you had to just announce, I'm older today, wouldn't it? I'm a day older. Again. But then I suppose it would also be super weird if you had to announce I'm older today, but then some people shouted, I'm not older today, and then you'd be like, well, how have you stopped aging? And maybe it'll just be because they forgot, or they were having a break from aging, and they have to catch up, and then they get like 2 days older the next day. I always wonder, if you live in a very cold place, if maybe you don't get as older as people in the rest of the world because you're sort of frozen for half the year. Like how frozen vegetables only get older when you take them out. Like frozen peas, they basically stay the same age as long as they're in the freezer. And then when you take them out, they suddenly get old. So if you're, say, like 8 years old and you live in the North Pole, do you stay 8 years old until you're like 30 years old? Or if you go on holiday somewhere hot, do you suddenly catch up really, really quickly as you've defrosted? Lot to think about. Sorry, what I meant to say, yet again, was hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast for all ages from... to... and everything in between. I'm Tiernan, and, today I was going to give the Stinky Hippos their annual bath, and I'm wearing a full hazmat suit to do it. But apparently, thanks to that intro, it's actually all about the little fishies, so I'd better focus on that instead. Linda, will you give the Stinky Hippos a bath for me, Linda? You know what, listeners, even though I know she's not here anymore, I just keep trying in case she's popped by or there happens to be another Linda that overhears through the window and decides to help me out. You never know, do you? Yoo-hoo! Hello?
It's me. I am other Linda. I couldn't help but overhear through the window that you need someone to give your stinky hippos a bath, and I happen to have 6 qualifications in stinky hippo bathing, so I will gladly help out.
Wow. Thank you, other Linda. That is very kind of you. The hippos are just over there. Just follow the green whiffy trails. The stink-proof tub is just there as well. If you need the hazmat suit, you can absolutely borrow this one. And you may need to use the industrial car wash that's in the cupboard as well.
I shall do it right away. No need for the hazmat suit. I am a professional.
Amazing. Well, I can take my hazmat suit off now, I guess. Oh, well, it was quite hot in there. That's a nice relief. Right, don't have to wash the stinky hippos. Brilliant. I suppose I should know things about little fishes now, but I don't really. Are the little fishies the baby ones? What are they called? Fishins? Flippies? Splashy doodles? Maybe I should research this.
Get in the bath, you horrors. Linda is here now, and I'm not the nice Linda you all know, and you will pay if you don't listen to me.
Well, that doesn't sound great. But I guess everyone has their methods, right? I don't know if there are any little fishies listening, but if there are, or even if there aren't, then do feel free to send me any information on being a little fishy, or indeed not being a little fishy, or in fact anything else. Or any questions that you might need answering, by asking your corny-faced galumpuses, sorry, I mean grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclubforkids.co.uk. Or you can drop me a line on the Spotify Q&A for each episode. If those same grown-ups want to help support this show, they can sign you up to the Linda edition, which is advert-free and released one day earlier each week too. That's the Linda edition, not the other Linda edition. And you can join that for a small fee on Apple Podcasts, Acast Plus or Spotify. And don't forget to check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk for our live shows and merch too.
Now to get your hippos really clean.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound very caring or... nice. I'm a little bit worried about other Linda, and I still know nothing about little fishies. I'd better get on the case. And while I do, you listen to this most importantest bit.
3 little fishes and a mama fishy too.
I am so pleased that returning to the show, it's Rachel and Ruby, also known as Shelf, aka Shelf, who always consume lunch in stealth, aka Shoof Shoof, the champions of the roof, or as all our heavy industrial machinery listeners know you, Chugga Chugga Chugga, brrr, kapunk. But of course, Rachel and Ruby, you are very well known for your charity work, helping people who live in haunted houses to get healthy with your exercise programme, for the time you heroically stood in for the bells in Big Ben, and most famously for creating the world's most popular video game, No Blocks, which is just like Roblox, but doesn't actually have anything in it at all, and no one can do anything. Rachel and Ruby, it's so lovely to have you back. How are you doing?
Good, so lovely to be back. Hello.
Yeah, we're so glad to be here again.
It's excellent. You two have been very, very busy since we last spoke on this show.
Yeah, pretty busy. Pretty busy.
Yeah, I mean, developing No Blocks took up a lot of our time. It's actually very hard to make a computer game where absolutely nothing happens, but I think we cracked it.
Is that right? So do you? I don't know really a lot about making computer games. When you like start to make one, is there just loads of stuff already?
Yeah, tons
Yeah,
of stuff.
it's got to delete it.
Every game there's ever been will already be there. So you have to sort of wade
Wow.
through Mario, Crash Bandicoot, Zelda, like all of that. They're all there. And they're all there like, please don't get rid of me, don't get rid of me. We were the only people sort of daring enough to get rid of everyone. So we were like, no,
Wow.
actually don't. You know, most of the time when you start making a game, you're like, who do I want to work with? Obviously, lots of people work with Mario. There's a lot of Marios for that reason. And a lot of people Crash Bandicoot. And we were just like, you know what? No, clean the slate. There was a lot of crying that day, but I think we did what needed to be done.
It was emotionally difficult, but I think that there really was a gap in the market for a game with nothing in it where nothing happens.
That is, I mean, it's heartbreaking. Can I ask, when you get rid of these characters, do they make the sound like when they die in a game, like
Yes.
or is it sadder than? No, it is.
It's exactly like the death. But what is sad is obviously they're expecting to respawn. And so that it's almost the saddest thing is that they go down assuming they'll come back. And obviously because we deleted them, they don't. So you get the sound and then you can see on their faces, they're like, well, I'll see you. And then you never see them again. So they don't even really get a proper goodbye.
That is vicious. I mean, it also makes me think, and I should say this is in no way complaining about your game, which is absolutely fantastic, but part of me thinks, why has no one made a game where they don't delete any of it and it just has all the characters, or would that be too much?
Well, Super Smash Bros did that, but then obviously it ended in fights. Like the problem is, and that's what that game wasn't meant to be, a fighting game, but if you leave everyone in there, they will start fighting, which is
simply results in violence. Very stressful.
Yeah.
That is stressful. Whereas your game is very peaceful.
Yeah, because all the violence has already been done.
Yes, right. Yes. So yes, I suppose that it's very sad to know that violence was what led to peace, but it is very lovely. I mean, I have played your game for hours and got absolutely nowhere and really achieved nothing with it, and it's been
well done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
really is part of the magic. That is part of the magic. It capture a moment of serenity and of not moving forwards, not moving anywhere. It's quite special.
It's lovely. Is there a secret end does it end the game or not really?
Well, I mean, I guess you could ask, like, how do you win? And we would say that you've already won just by aimlessly wandering through the empty wasteland of No Blocks.
Wow.
What could be funner than that,
That is true, and I like the fact you can't even really wander. You can't really do anything.
Well, you think you are wandering, but you can't see anything. Obviously, you don't have a character or you don't have a scenery, but you can obviously move your joysticks around, so you get the sort of the sense of wandering, and the rest is left up to you, I think, which is part of the magic.
That is beautiful. Do you think it's going to go to like, I've never been to one of those things, but they have those big gaming conventions and people like challenge each other. Do you think it's going to be in some big expo, which is like a trade fair, which is like an expo, which is like a trade fair? I don't know if you know about expos. They're kind of like trade fairs, and I wonder if it's going to be one of those things, and you're going to have people like, who can do the most nothing? Go. Is that going to be the next step for the game?
That's what we're really hoping for, yeah. Just two people competing to see who can do less.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
impressive.
the tournaments are going to be thrilling.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
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 quiet, very quiet.
You sit there and doing nothing. Not. It's hard. It's harder than you think it is going to be. I'm not very good at it at all. Ruby, very good. Me, not so much.
Yeah, a lot of people
Wow.
give up very quickly.
Yeah.
It is. I can't do it. Well, hang on. So Ruby, you're very good at doing nothing. You don't. Do you? You don't do. No, you do. You do nothing. You don't do know nothing very often.
That's exactly right. I don't do nothing badly, but I do nothing very well.
Right. And is that something you trained for?
I trained for years by not doing absolutely anything at all. And I also practiced doing some things, found that just to really get into, like, show myself what nothing was. And through that, I think I've really achieved a professional level of nothing.
It is
That's
incredible
incredible.
to see. I really would recommend it. I could watch Ruby do nothing for hours, which is incredible because I can't actually do nothing myself. So
Well, I guess that's doing something. So it kind of works out quite well for us.
yeah,
Yeah, that's nice actually. She enables you to watch her doing nothing, therefore you are doing so. That's lovely. But then Rachel, for you, making a game with nothing in it must have been quite hard. Were you not desperate for there to be something?
it was very, very challenging. I was very grateful to have Ruby on board for this project. I couldn't have done it. Couldn't have done it without Ruby. Because at every turn I was going, but what if? Just have a little something. It just kept being like, maybe there are just trees, or there is a path, or an arrow, or so. And Ruby went, no, trust the process. Take it away.
Wow.
And I got quite upset at points. It was a struggle for me, but we did get there in the end.
I think it's fantastic, and I admire the fact that you've won awards, but you haven't turned up to get them because that would be doing stuff. You've given no interviews. You've really done as little as possible to help this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really have. Please delete everything that we just said.
Of course. What I might do actually is, rather than delete it, I might just reduce the sound so there's nothing there.
Yes. If you could just play silence where we spoke.
Yes, I will absolutely do that.
We'll be very
Fantastic.
upset if you haven't done that. If we listen back and we hear any of this,
Sure.
we'll be hearing from our lawyers, just so you know.
You will be hearing from your lawyers, or you won't, because that means you'll be doing something.
Well, you won't be hearing from our lawyers if
Right. Okay, sure. So if I leave it in, I won't be hearing from your lawyers.
Yes, just as
Right,
a warning,
absolutely not.
just so you're aware. If you
Right,
leave
sure.
it in, you won't be hearing from our lawyers. So just tread carefully. That's all we're saying.
I will tread. I will absolutely tread. I'm very good at treading carefully. Actually, it's one of my.
I've heard that about you.
Yeah, that's right. I'm very good at just walking in a way, especially around Lego. I'm very good at dodging Lego pieces, and small stones. I'm really expert at it. So
Incredible.
I will.
Incredible.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Again, just lots of practice. So I need to ask, because obviously you've done the nothing game now. Are you still doing nothing, or have you got something on the cards? I don't know, or not even on cards, just on tables or on floors, or.
No, it's just nothing. Anyway,
That's it. It's just not-
We've been really not busy.
Wow. That's that's nice for you. I suppose, but you're here. You're now on the Radio Nos podcast, which I'm very pleased about. That must. How have you motivated yourself to be here?
it's just This has just happened. We weren't.
You didn't know.
Yes, we weren't at all expecting this. I don't know. You just sort of came up on the computer. I was just standing in this room. I was just standing there, just looking at a wall. And then you started speaking to us, and that's been my experience. I don't know how this has happened.
Yeah, it was amazing actually. Like I was just looking at my blank laptop screen, as I often am, and all of a sudden it turned on and you appeared, which was, well, that's the first
That's
something that's
strange.
happened to me in a long time.
That's very strange. Wow, I wonder how this got arranged then, because I don't want to upset you. I worry someone is plotting against you to ruin your nothingness. Have you got any rivals in the gaming industry, or just in general, that may have set this up without you knowing?
I'm sure we have
I
many rivals. We have many rivals.
Pretty much anyone who makes a game where something happens could be considered an enemy of ours. So that is most of them.
Yeah, because what we're doing
Wow.
is groundbreaking, and people are jealous of that, and they are. That's why. And you're not with any enemy games maker, are you?
No, I'm not. I mean, but I am. I tell you what, I'm wondering is you deleted all those characters? You deleted Mario. Has Luigi set this up? Has Toad? You've got all these characters now that are essentially useless because you've deleted the main character from their game. Are you going to find yourself? Is Tails really livid? Are you going to find that you've got a whole tour around big city planned by Tails because he wants you to do stuff?
I think that is almost definitely what's happened. Actually, I think the side characters have come for us and they've set up for us to do things to show us that doing things is better than doing nothing, which is, it's quite frightening to think about. But now you say that, I'm noticing lots of things in my calendar that certainly weren't there.
Yeah, I think there could be a lot of side quests coming up for us. It'll be, side characters can only give side quests, so I think we're about to be busy doing a lot of very small somethings that distract from the main plot.
Are there any sort of mystical old people in your vicinity who say that they'll give you something in exchange for perhaps, I don't know, a mystical onion or an ancient scroll, maybe I don't know, a sort of glowing rock, something that they've told you they need, and then they'll give you something in return?
Yeah, now that you mention it, there is a cat in the corner of my room who's sitting in a sort of single beam of light with a question mark floating over its head. Wonder if I should go talk to them.
I think avoid that cat at all costs.
I'll avoid the cat.
Yeah, because I had an old lady asking me to check out the old watering hole just yesterday. So that she's seen something down there and she wanted to know a little bit more about it. And I didn't think anything of it at the time, but now that you mention it, that probably was a side quest waiting to happen.
That was a side quest. Yeah. And you'd be in a lot of trouble. Also, if you reply to her wrongly, it's going to affect you negatively. This is, I do worry. People talk about sort of, is AI going to affect the world? I think you're in big trouble from side characters and side quests.
I think we are.
Never saw it coming.
No, because you weren't even looking.
No,
you weren't doing anything. That is gonna. You're probably gonna be, if you just don't do anything about it, maybe it'll go away.
That sounds like a great plan. That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah,
we'll just go back.
That is our business model.
Yeah.
I often wish that was how. I think I've always been quite disappointed to learn that isn't how things work. I like the idea of maybe if I just leave it, it will vanish and everyone will forget.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Yeah. Things like not having food in doesn't work. Like, well, maybe if I don't get food will appear.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Yeah.
One of my mum's main mottos in life is "it will sort itself out," and my brother and I have only recently realised that "it will sort itself out" means Dad will sort it out. We've just all been living it. Mum said it'll sort itself out, so we've only, now that we have our own homes, we're like, oh no, it was Dad sorting it out. These things do not sort themselves out.
Yeah. I like that your dad gets referred to as it. It will do it.
It will sort itself out.
It'll sort it out. It'll sort it out.
That thing, the creature guy. That's great. I like that. I've realized I do wonder. I don't, if any listeners to this have dads that aren't its. That's fair enough. But I am definitely, in my family, I am the it. And my daughter says things like, "Mummy, I love you so much. I love you so much. Dad, get me crisps." And that is a regular conversation where she'll tell like my wife how much she loves her, and then she'll tell me like, get me something. Do this. And
crisp bearer is a very important role.
Yes. Yes.
Caring.
I suppose that is love in a way.
My partner has two very young sisters, and they've decided that my partner is Edie the Queen and I am Rachel the Bin. So They have a whole song about it and everything. And the song
Wow.
is just Edie's the queen, Rachel's the bin.
Catchy.
It's good.
Wow.
It's strong. It's strong.
But,
then when they have rubbish,
hey-
they'll hand it to me and say, "For the bin. This is for the bin."
You're the bin.
And then do you have to eat it immediately?
Wow. I should say for any American listeners, Rachel's the trash.
The trash.
Just
trash
so
can.
they know, the trash can. You're but I think that means you're more because queens obviously have done some stuff in their lives, but everyone's got a bin. Everyone's got a trash can. You know, how many people in their daily lives need a queen for anything? You know, they don't really like. I often don't think, oh, like, I don't know, I've got to put a wash on, I'd better ask the queen to do it. Like, you don't think, whereas every day I think, I've got to throw this away, I've got to put it in the bin. Like, so you're more useful.
It's true. I am more useful, but less well respected. I will say there's less excitement for my, there's less, what's the word? Like, yeah, I think it, Edie gets given gifts and presents and jewelry as the queen. I'm given trash for the bin.
Yes, I can see it. But I mean, but jewelry isn't like, what can you do with jewelry?
Is jewelry not just shiny trash?
Shiny
Exactly.
trash.
And like, I mean, she has a crown, but you have a lid. And I think yours is a
Yeah.
lot cooler because it lifts up and down.
Yeah.
Crowns don't do that.
I agree, and also because like crowns don't make the queen look like they're going to eat stuff, whereas bin lids always make it look like the bin's going nom 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 nom.
And I do love to
better.
eat. I do eat a lot as well, so it does make sense. That does work. If there's food left over, put it in the bin.
There you go. I think this works out. I think everyone should aspire to be a bin rather than the queen. That's what I think.
I agree. I agree. And I hope if Daisy and Rose are listening, they hear that it's better to be a bin than a queen.
Better to be a bin than a queen.
The bin is the best. The bin is the best.
I think we've just made the most life-affirming podcast of 2024 so far, and I refuse to hear otherwise from anyone, especially not your lawyers, who I won't hear from.
Yeah, don't worry, you won't.
I won't hear from them, so that's all right. It's lovely to have you both on it, despite you obviously not knowing that this was going to happen and not knowing that you were going to do anything today. I am also kind of slightly sorry I've made you do stuff, but I will blame that on Luigi or Tails. That's fine. I do, however, it's quite lucky that you're here because I do have some questions. I think you are the people that can answer them. How are you with answering questions in your current state of nothingness?
It does sound a little bit like doing something, doesn't it?
It does sound a little bit like that, yeah. But we're willing to give it a try, but only for you.
Well, thank you.
This person just met, yes.
Yeah. You've become very special to us very quickly.
I appreciate that. I mean, I did say at the top. Hang on a second. I said at the top that you've returned to Radio Nonsense and you've been on before, but were you not this? Are you not the same Rachel Ruby that were on last time?
No,
that wasn't us.
No, can't have been us.
Oh, how many shelf comedy groups are there?
That we know of?
Yeah.
Well, there's a sort of multiverse thing going on with Shelf.
Right.
So, I mean, we've met, I would say 12.
Yeah.
But
13,
I suspect
13 if you count the ones that the ones we weren't sure about. But
oh, yeah.
if we count them as another shelf, but
because I'm starting to wonder. But wait, so it's a multiverse thing. It's not like you're a franchise, not like the Blue Man Group, where you've sort of told other people that they can be shelf as long as they learn your tricks and they can go and perform in Vegas. It's not like that. It's a multiverse. It's a multiverse.
we've said it's a multiverse thing, so it's got to be that sounds amazing.
Sure.
But
that does sound fun.
It's
Yeah.
multiverse thing.
But you keep that in this universe. Yeah, but also then you'd be able to do nothing because all the other shelves could go out and do your shelf work, and then but if it's a multiverse thing, my worry is that actually I'd set up this appointment with a shelf in a different universe, and it's gone to the wrong. And it's not Luigi or Tails' fault at all.
So basically, when we decided to start doing nothing, we had to create a sort of tear in the multiverse to allow other Rachel and Rubies and shelves to come through in order to, exactly as you say, be able to do something while we sat around doing nothing, because we couldn't obviously let the good name shelf sort of fade,
Right.
anything like that. It's incredible. We're actually the originals. We are the first shelf. I don't know who you spoke with before. I think that possibly the fifth iteration, like the sort of one of the fifth iterations, was it? One of the fifth universe of shelves that came through.
Well, they look just like you, except one of them was blue and one of them had a moustache.
That's definitely fifth. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Very chatty, those two, though. So
yeah,
good for a podcast.
Oh yeah, no, good time, those two. Yeah.
Are there any bad versions of you out there? Are there any versions I should steer clear from?
Some real bad ones. There's one. Watch out for. There's one where the Ruby has my hair and the Rachel has Ruby's hair. The hair has been swapped. That's horrible. Really mean, nasty pair. Those two.
Very bad. Yeah, they are somehow more evil than the universe where the shelves have whisks for hands.
Wow.
It's swap ones you want to look out for.
Okay. Well, that's really good to know. I feel like the shelves with whisks for hands. Obviously, I know you've warned me, but at the same time, probably great pancake batter, right?
They make a wonderful meringue. Honestly, incredible.
Yeah, hard not to be interested in that. Yeah. Well, listen. Well, I'm very pleased to have the original shelf on. Thank you then for sticking with this, despite you having not been on before and only just meeting me. I've got these questions for you, but before I ask them, I've got some admin questions. Are you okay if I ask you a couple of admin questions? Yeah,
really, please.
Sure. Okay. Well, the first question is very important. It's just, what is this?
Meringue.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've got the whisk hand shelves just ready to step in at any second. They're whipping away.
Oh, I see. It's not formed, because I thought it was like a sort of like a sloshy cloud.
No, by the end of this podcast will be meringue.
Wow. That's exciting then, actually. No, that's probably the best outcome I've ever had on this show. It's never happened before. What have we done? Is it just the whisking, or is it?
You've got to
what's happened?
Got to keep whisking. You'll never get meringue if you stop. And if you didn't know you were aiming for meringue, why would you keep whisking? You know,
Right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about when people say "a meringue"? You know, when they think they're not wrong about stuff.
Oh, I've never heard that myself.
You never heard that, right? Right. I just sort of felt this podcast was going to turn into meringue.
Could you do it again?
At some point, we'd have to say, yeah, like.
Yeah, we'd like to hear it again.
Okay, so.
Wait. We'll set you up.
Okay,
not sure if you're right about that, Tiernan.
A meringue.
I feel good about it. I think.
It's the only thing I think you can use the word meringue for, apart from meringue.
No.
No?
Did you ring?
Meringue.
Yeah, meringue.
Yep. Or if you're wearing jewelry and you lose it, you can say meringue, which is
meringue.
That's just a different pronunciation.
Yeah, that's nice actually. It is weird, isn't it? Because it's meringue. It's not meringue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
It's
good to know that.
Yeah. I think it's pronounced meringue in French, but no, in English definitely meringue.
Yeah. They'll probably have a weird name for it in France. It's like the peaks of the sugar from the cake. Like they add a lot of extra words in, and you think, come on, you know, like pomme de terre, the apple of the earth it's the potato of the. No, yeah, pomme de terre is the apple of the earth, isn't it? Which is potato.
Yeah.
Could be.
But like, that's a lot. It's a lot there. It's a lot. Just call it potato.
Yeah. Agreed. Pomme de terre. Yeah.
Pomme de terre.
Yeah, apples don't belong down there.
Yeah, why is that an apple? It looks nothing like an apple in the earth.
No, it doesn't. And I wouldn't eat an apple that was covered in dirt.
No. I maybe would, but I'm a bin, so
Oh, that's true,
Yeah,
actually.
it's your job.
That is true.
do as I do.
Yeah. Maybe don't take your... Hang on, I was going to say maybe don't take your food advice, but you... I suppose Ruby has as well, actually. But you, Rachel, have just told me this is a meringue, so...
But is a meringue's not like a food, is it? Meringue's a...
Yeah, it's too airy.
Too airy.
Yeah.
It's more of a taste than a food. That's what I
Sure.
would about
Sure.
meringue.
Yeah. Does it have any use other than food then, or just...
Well, if you whip them enough, you can use them to float small objects. So if you fill
Oh.
balloons with them, that's how balloons float, basically.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, that's quite handy. Oh, so after this chat, I can use it for all sorts of things.
Absolutely. And also, if you give it to a monkey, you'll get a meringue tag.
Yes. Wonderful. A meringue. Wow. Well, I mean, that was not the answer I knew was coming, but I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased it was the answer. Thank you so much. The other question I have to ask you, and this is, this requires some thought. So do take your time over this if you need. But would you rather that you had to travel absolutely everywhere by shuffling there on your bum, or you had to travel there by roller coaster? Now, before you answer this, I mean travel everywhere. So even if you're going to the shops, you'd have to go on a roller coaster. Every single journey you did, roller coaster or shuffling on your bum.
Big question. What kind of roller coaster are we talking?
I haven't specified, but so that's the gamble you take. It could be one of those really sedate kids roller coaster. It could be like triple corkscrew, loop-the-loop, massive roller coaster, just to go and buy some meringue.
Yeah, that's tricky.
And even if you're like walking from one room to another, is that roller coaster?
Yeah, to travel
Roller
everywhere.
coaster, yeah.
Thing is, if I spin, I get quite sick. So that would really affect my day-to-day life if I'm spinning. But if I'm not spinning, I'd really enjoy that. And also shuffling around on your bum is just so slow.
And it's very slow.
What about when you're outside? You'd have to get bum shoes so that your bum doesn't get all wet and dirty on the ground.
You'd have to get butt shoes.
You'd have to get and then would that be like a shoe per cheek, or would that just be one big shoe for the whole bum?
One big shoe.
That's so much.
Shoe.
One big butt shoe.
I mean, there is also the worry. I mean, I suppose it doesn't happen with feet, does it? I'd worry that you'd wear your bum down.
Yeah.
Like, what if you wore your bum away because you were shuffling too much,
and then you'd have
you had no bum?
Gosh, yeah, you'd be like a pencil with no eraser.
Yeah. Hang on, but the eraser's not where... Is the eraser the pencil's bum?
It is. Yeah, that's why that's why they should be wearing little pants.
Right.
I make little pants for all my pencils for their dignity.
That's quite a lot. That's quite an effort to make for you. I'm surprised you go to those lengths to avoid doing nothing to make little pants for all your pencils.
Well, this was before I got into doing nothing.
Oh, sure.
In fact, that's probably why I got into doing nothing. I was really making a lot of pencil pants.
Sure.
But it's easier than making bum shoes, so I guess there's that.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. It was more that I sort of when you I didn't know that the erasers were pencils' bums, and a part of me wonders why they're not sort of halfway up the pencil, or because they're at the end of the pen. It'd be like if you had your bum on your feet. Or your bum on your head.
Yeah.
It depends on which end of the pencil is that. If the nibs that. Wow! Look, there's a lot more to this than I thought, and I was not expecting to learn the anatomy of a pencil today.
They're very complicated.
In many ways, I would have imagined that the eraser bit of the pencil was the head of the pencil.
The head?
And then the nib is your feet. Because if you turned me into a pencil and I stood with my pointy little feet, this would be that's definitely more of a rubber, isn't it? My head, that was what I did there. I rubbed my head.
I've always thought if I was a pencil, I would write from my nose. So, you know, like,
Ah.
yeah.
I mean, the thing that I would say is the way you described it now, you're sharpening a pencil's head, and that is mean.
Yeah, that's what Ruby's doing. Ruby's sharpening pencils' heads and then putting pants on their rubbers. And this is why Ruby started doing nothing, because the things Ruby was doing,
You
Ruby
were
was
a
doing
little.
things were strange things.
Yeah. I also, what I'm really enjoying is, I know, Ruby, you are American, but for our American listeners, I feel like we need to completely translate the putting underpants on the pencil's erasers to cover their butts. There you go. Is that the translated version?
That's exactly what we're
Yes.
translating, and I'm sure that my deeply moral Americans will agree with me.
Yes.
Erasers should be covered at all times with discreet and elegant pants.
Yes. Yes. Wow, but hang on, let's just jump back a minute. Shuffling on your bum or roller coaster?
Can I shuffle on my bum on a skateboard? Or does it have to be bum to ground?
I mean, again,
can I sit on a skateboard? I must be allowed to skate shuffle, in which case I'd skate shuffle 100%.
It's very vague. It doesn't give the details.
Bum
take
shuffling on a skateboard then 100%. That's me in.
Ruby.
Locked.
Nice. I think I will go roller coaster, but I am concerned about the effect on the world for all of the roller coasters that are going to need to be built for me to get anywhere. So
Sure.
I'm kind of like wondering if there's going to be buildings left or forests left, or if it's just all going to be roller coaster.
Probably all roller coaster, but at the same time, you are doing nothing, so you might not go anywhere. And
Yes,
therefore,
you're
no
so
roller
lucky
coasters
that
will
it's
need to
me
be
doing
built.
this.
Yeah, yeah. So if in the end, it may actually make no difference whatsoever, and until you need to go to the toilet, and then you've got to properly do several loop-the-loops to get that's going to be the stressful moment.
God, yeah. You picked a rough one there, really.
Yeah,
I have, but I'll take the burden of continuing to do nothing so that you're all safe from roller coasters.
Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. Don't talk to that cat. That's all I say. Well, thank you. Listen, you two. This is the question that has been sent in, and this question. Well, there's lots of questions actually, so we'll see how these go. But these questions will be sent in by Molly the Mole, who when she sent these in, she was 9 elephants old. But I know on good authority she is now 10 elephants old. So I don't know how you are on the elephant age scale. I think it's about 67.
67, right? Oh, it's changed.
Oh,
When I was young, 10 elephants used to be about 104, but I guess.
Oh wow!
I guess
Inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah, inflation. I suppose it depends on if they're African or Indian elephants as well.
Elephantation.
Elephantation. Yes. A meringue. So
It's growing on me. You know what? A
Okay, it's
meringue. The more you do it, the more it makes sense. The better it is.
good. I'm pleased.
A
I'm pleased. So, Molly has sent in a lot of questions. I think I'm going to leave it to you two. I know you don't like doing very much. I'm going to leave it to you two how much these get answered. Okay,
Yeah.
So some of them might need speedy answers. Some of them might need a bit more investigation. Would you like all the questions at once, very fast? Would you like them one at a time?
Yes.
Would you like them in reverse order?
Let's go one at a time, skipping, and then going back.
Whoa. Okay, so I'll go for every other one.
Every other one, and then
we
go
jump
back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to try and remember to do this. So,
Well, if you're meringue, we're going to make you start again.
okay. Right. Well, let's do this then. Okay. Question number 1, and I should say these are all quite themed. You'll get the theme as we sort of go along. If you eat too much avocado, do you become an avocado?
Only if you eat the seed and skin. So if you eat the seed and skin of too many avocados, you then develop that skin and your body becomes a seed. But if you avoid the skin and seed, then you're okay, is my understanding.
Yeah, and it's obviously best to avoid that, because then for like the rest of your life you have to run around telling everybody that you're right when you're not.
Wow. And
Just
just
some shade to avocado there.
yeah, that was. Hey, but we all know about avocados when they're like, I'm really ripe, and then you're like, no, there's the tiniest little squishy bit, and all the rest of you is so hard and horrid, and their seed is like just so big. Like, where do they get off with like that massive seed?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's too much seed.
The upside though is if you do become an avocado, then you can immediately drive because you avocado. Am I right?
Am I right? Oh wow. Well, that's I feel like I should end the podcast there forever. That was wonderful. Well, so good answer. Especially, I didn't know about avocado's immediate ability to drive. That's very handy.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that eats the avocado seed, so I guess that's why I've never met anyone that's turned into an avocado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what you got to be careful of. If you do eat the whole thing, if you eat it like an apple, a ponder tree, as the French call it.
Avocado. They probably call avocados like a green apple of the hedge or something.
The potato of the sky.
The potato, yeah. That's right. Potato of the sea. I don't know. There'll be something weird. Right, so I've got to jump one now, haven't I? So, why are tree trunks called tree trunks and elephant trunks called elephant trunks?
I think that is such a good question because I guess an elephant trunk is a nose, but a tree trunk, well, I guess those are also noses then, aren't they?
Oh,
yeah.
Is this like the pencil?
This is what I was thinking. Is the real question, why aren't pencil erasers called pencil trunks? Especially because Ruby keeps making trunks for them.
Well, also,
what about swimming trunks?
Well, I was just going to say, controversially, you're putting pants on erasers, and underwear on erasers, pants on. So is swimming trunks, which cover your bum, actually meant to be for your nose?
Yes.
Yes. So wait. So we've got tree trunks, elephant trunks, swimming trunks, and then is there just a trunk? Is a trunk
back of a car? That's a trunk here, isn't it?
Can be a trunk. Can be a boot, which is confusing.
Yeah,
because that could be for your foot.
So the tree trunk. So the elephant trunk is the nose of the elephant, and so then the tree trunk is the nose of the tree. So therefore, the swimming trunks are the noses of
the swimming
pool.
Ah, right.
So whenever you see trunks in a swimming pool, you can grab them and be like, "Got your nose."
Yeah, right.
The person who is wearing them might be really, really upset with you, but you can.
You're correct. Yeah, you're correct. I mean, and then when people store things in a trunk, they're putting stuff up a nose.
Mm-hmm. That's got to be it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what most people mean when they say they're picking their nose. They mean they're getting things out of the trunk.
Yes. See, I think that's. Do you know? I think that's the only explanation. I don't think there's any other. Way we could interpret that, and I think we have to base on elephant trunks being correct because that is definitely the elephant's nose.
Yes, and we don't know whether it's the tree's nose, but we can assume it is the tree's nose on the basis of it being the elephant's nose.
Yeah,
it's a really good question.
Wow, it's a very good question. Right, well, so let me jump one again then. This question, again, of a sort of similar vein. If you become a professional player at a musical instrument, do you become that musical instrument that you play?
Well, Ruby, you play guitar on stage, don't you? When you are doing, and you have kind of become the guitar, haven't you?
I have. I mean, I guess it's the difficult thing about a podcast that you can't see me right now, but I am actually a guitar, and I'm actually quite glad you can't see me because it's quite hard to work out where my mouth is, where my trunk is, where my eraser is.
Yes. I mean, I didn't want to sort of comment on that because I thought it wasn't polite. But I have noticed that you're sort of wearing pants on on various different parts of the guitar, and I guess that was just sort of what guitars did.
It's just better to be safe. If you're not sure where your bum is, just put as many pants on as possible. Try to
Yes.
make sure that all bases are covered.
And how does that affect the sound of the guitar?
It doesn't affect it well. I will admit
I
that.
think it sounds much better. I
Aw.
much prefer Ruby. Ruby will occasionally, only in front of me, not be wearing guitar pants or guitar
Wow.
pants. And I don't think you sound as good as when you're wearing many pants. So
Wow.
Thank you. That's a real boost, actually.
yeah. Yeah.
That's really nice. Is it like when you get those big tuba players and they put that thing in the end of the tube? It's called like is it a muffler or a, I don't know,
Yeah,
you
muffler.
put something in there and then it goes from like to just, like it's like, is that what's happened? Have you now got like a chilled guitar sound?
Why don't you give us some
sounds like you're doing
guitar,
under the covers.
maybe?
Yeah,
That's what it
absolutely.
sounds like. With
yeah.
pants on and with pants off. That's what I'd like to hear.
So I'd say that with my pants, was it off or on first?
Whichever
that
you
were
prefer, that's up
Whichever,
to you.
yeah.
We couldn't possibly.
You're the
So-
professional guitar player.
Yep. With my pants off, I'd say it's a sort of like squee dee diddly dee. And then with the pants on, you'll hear it's a sort of like.
Oh,
See,
that is nicer.
Pants on. It's sort of haunting, but quite beautiful.
Yes, yeah, I like that. Much calmer, much better, much more fitting with your game. I think pants off, much more YouTube presenter, quite annoying.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's
The difference between an electric and acoustic guitar, actually.
Yes, and so does this happen just with guitars, or does it happen with all musical instruments?
Well, I think like with elephants' trunks, we know that it's happened to me, so I guess we can assume that it must happen with other instruments as well. There must be a lot of flutes walking around, a lot of oboes.
Yeah, it's hard
Double
for Ruby
basses,
and I
yeah.
to say because obviously we do nothing, so we
Of course,
only
of
really
course.
see each other. And Ruby's been a guitar for as long as I've known Ruby, so
Yeah, yeah.
hard to say.
Well, no, but I think it's good. It's good to have a kind of case file like that. We know of one example. I think from that we can say that yes, that is what happens. And I think you just got to be pretty careful what you play. Do you want to play a triangle? Is that what you want to be for the rest of your life?
Yeah,
Think about it.
think about
maybe
it.
just think about it.
Just think.
Wow. Okay.
The
Right. So let's. Oh, God. Sorry.
Just the question it makes me think is it means that when you're learning to play, before you're a professional player and you can obviously play yourself as Ruby does, when you're learning, do you have to just play a professional? So like are all guitars
Oh.
just professional guitar players? So like for you, Ruby, how did you learn? Was that
Yep, I learned by playing a professional, and now I have the honor and the privilege of helping other people learn, which is great.
That's
Um,
nice.
Yeah, that's why there's obviously so many professional recorders who go into schools to do outreach work.
Of course.
But yeah, most people don't work hard enough at the recorder to become a professional themselves. So
Maybe they just don't want to be a recorder, and they're like, it does make me also think that sometimes when you think, oh, why didn't you just learn to play music better? Maybe that person's made a decision of, I don't want to be a piano when I grow up, and I suppose that's kind of fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it's hard to be a piano. You don't get to move a lot.
No, but you get lots of teeth. That's nice.
Beautiful smile.
Beautiful smile. Really beautiful smile. Wow. Well, thank you. Well, so there's two more questions, but I've got to jump back. This is essentially question 2 now.
Yep.
And it's again similar sort of thing. If you have too many nosebleeds, will you melt into blood? Bit grim, that one.
Terrifying if true. Huge if true.
Yeah.
Terrible news.
Absolutely
Yeah.
huge if true.
Yeah.
I've actually never had a nosebleed myself.
Wow.
Never.
Literally never. Just the honest, God's honest truth. That.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, if the nose just keeps bleeding, I don't see what else could happen. Do you know what I mean? You must just melt into blood.
I guess. I'm so wow. If you've never had a nosebleed, like, are you sure that you have blood?
Yeah, I'm not sure you do.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Have
Maybe.
you
If you
both
have
had?
blood, like, of course, yeah, I've had a
Yeah,
couple.
absolutely.
Please.
Everybody has
Yeah.
What?
nosebleeds. Everyone all the time.
What?
Go down the supermarket,
I haven't
nosebleeds. Down the high street, school playground. Yeah,
Yeah. I'd say that one one every 2 months is about average, I think.
yeah.
Have
I
a
think so.
nose
That's
to
just the
have your
standard.
nose bleed. You guys are
Ooh.
hearing
Do
what
you,
your nose
do
is
you know?
bleeding.
Do you know this is? I have to be really honest here. I went to school with someone who, whenever there was going to be a storm, their nose bled, and it was almost like a superpower.
That's cool.
That's very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Like, because it was like the pressure in the air or something, but they'd just be like, "Oh, there's going to be a storm," and the blood would start trickling down nose. You'd be like, wow, they could tell the future."
That's
They didn't
amazing.
like it, but I thought it was very cool.
Did they get
Do you know
nosebleeds
if that's still?
otherwise? Or was it just when a storm was coming?
No, just storms. Yeah.
Just storms. That's cool. I'd like that. I think the
I hope we're now employed by like a weather agency.
I was just going to ask, do you know if it still happens?
I
And
don't
if they're
know.
now like
No.
a business person in a suit, just having nosebleeds every time the storm clouds roll in.
Yeah, they have to sit on the roof like a weather vane,
yeah.
and then they just monitor their nose. I don't know, but that would be good. So so you now, Rachel, you don't know because you don't have any blood. Ruby, do you think you do melt in? I've never had too many nosebleeds. I think I've had the right amount.
The right.
Yeah, no, same. I've only ever had the right amount of nosebleeds.
Yeah.
Why have I not
Uh,
had any? This is unfair.
Oh, it's
Just hard to
worrying.
know, yeah, very worrying. Yeah.
We'll take you to a doctor,
Thank you.
and he'll give you a little boop in the snoot. And
Yeah. You don't have nosebleeds? Do you ever have a runny nose that's just sort of snotty?
No, never.
You never had any?
Maybe
You don't
I
even have
don't.
any snot out your nose?
Maybe I don't. Do I have? Would you guys tell me if I didn't have a nose? Have you noticed?
It's hard to tell because, like, based on where a trunk could be, you might now have a nose on your leg.
yeah,
Right.
So
Like,
we didn't want to mention it in case you have a trunk elsewhere.
Right.
it's really hard to know where people's pieces are. So
Yeah.
yeah, we just thought that was your thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that looked at after this.
Good idea. Right. Well, listen, I don't want to keep you from your now important doctor's appointment that's going to ruin you doing nothing. But I've got one final question from Molly the Mole, who has asked, big final one, but I think maybe easy to answer. I don't know. Why do monkeys like bananas so much?
And why do orangutans like orangutans?
Orangutans.
Why do monkeys like bananas so much?
Well, I mean, there's just so many things that you can do with a banana, and I think that monkeys have always been aware of that, like they're a delicious snack. If you peel them, they are a delightful hat. You can use them to pretend to be a phone. You can use them to pretend to be a flute. The possibilities are truly endless, and that is why monkeys go so bananas for them.
I think you're absolutely right. Also, just the number of ways you can peel them. Have you ever squeezed a banana and it just pops out? That's one of the most fun, satisfying things you can do. And I guess if you're a monkey and no one's going to tell you off for doing that, why wouldn't you'd have a banana every day, multiple a day?
Yeah, and I'm guessing not like an avocado. You can eat lots of bananas. You never become a banana.
Yeah. Well, you don't eat the skin because that's the fun bit. Is popping it out.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And the skin's also a trap. Obviously, leave it on the floor, everyone will fall over.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big practical jokers as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's the telephone thing. I always just think there's no other fruit or banana's a seed, isn't it? It's one of those sneaky ones that is not really a fruit. But there's no other fruit or seed or vegetable or pomme de terre that acts like a phone so well.
It's true. It's true. You can have a funny shaped carrot, but you have to really get a funny shape of a carrot.
Yeah.
But no one will answer if you use a carrot though. Whereas as we all know, bananas work, and that's why they're so good for it.
It's brilliant. Well, I mean, even even plantains, which are very like bananas, but they're still not good enough as phone. They don't quite work as phones in the same way. They're too industrial. They might be a phone in an office, perhaps, but they're not a general day-to-day phone.
No, they're not a phone you could keep. They're not a mobile phone, are they? They're more of a landline.
No, they're not a mobile phone. Yeah, really old landline, really old heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy landline. Yeah. Wow. Well, listen. Thank you so much. That's some pretty solid answers for Molly there, and I hope she enjoys those answers.
Us too.
Yeah, and if not, I mean, she can call and complain to me via a plantain because then I won't hear it. But thank you for your answers, and I appreciate that you taking time out of doing nothing to do something and answer this. And I know you've obviously got nothing coming up, but as well as nothing, you've got a tour. Is that right?
Yes, I think it must have been set up by Luigi or something. But yeah, we are seeing in the calendar. There's several side quests of doing shows for children, comedy sketch shows for children in various locations around the UK.
Yeah, that is so bizarre. That must have been one of the shelves from another universe, but it does look like we're going to be doing kids comedy shows from February well into the summer, maybe in a town near you.
Yeah.
Wow, so it's all over the UK. Can I ask, is that going to be you, or is that going to be one of the shelves from the multiverse?
We're hoping another shelf will go, obviously. They're all fantastic as long as you don't get one of the rubbish ones, which are very rare. But most of them really, really good. So, but we're hoping not us. It will be one of the other multiverse shelves. But I mean, based on the fact that we had to do this podcast, it might look like we also end up doing the shows themselves. So you'll have to come along and see if you can work out if we are the true shelf or if we are one of the multiverse shelves.
That's a great idea. Really great idea. Well, listen, kids, you need to nag your grown-ups, get tickets. And if you turn up and it is shelf, but they have whisk for hands, maybe be careful, but also enjoy the meringue. 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 Thank you so much, both of you. Have a lovely time doing nothing until you have to go and do many, many somethings.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
And this fish is so tiny that you'll need around 500,000.
Thanks so much to Rachel and Ruby, aka Shelf, for doing anything at all, and also answering Molly's excellent questions. Molly, I do hope you liked your answers, but if not, and you have any complaints, why not send them into the No Blocks game, and absolutely nothing will happen with them, and I'll never have to hear about them. Shelf are indeed touring their very, very, very funny kids sketch show around the UK. I have seen a good amount of it and it is absolutely brilliant. And they are doing a lot of dates, starting in London at Blackheath Halls on February the 10th. And then they're off to all sorts of places like Cambridge, Edinburgh, Leicester, Bath, Manchester, and so many more. I'll pop a link into the podcast blurb for their tour dates. And if you live somewhere they are playing, then get your grown-ups to grab some tickets, go along and see if it's them or one of their multiverse evil versions doing the show. And if you want to send in any questions you need answering to this show, then please do get your corny-faced galumpuses, sorry, I mean grown-ups. I said grown-ups earlier. What's going on? To help you, email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. If those same grown-ups want to help support this show actually existing, then they can sign you up to the Linda edition for a small fee. It is advert-free and released one day earlier each week too. They can find that on Apple Podcasts, Acast Plus or Spotify. And please do check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk for our live shows and merch as well. And now, listeners, I'm going to have to do something quite difficult. It's hard, this. I was going to research Little Fishies, but I have here a letter from the Comedy Club for Squids saying they've already done 600 episodes on that subject and I should back away or there'll be legal action. I don't really want any more legal action after the issue with the camels last week. Well, now, what shall I do? I didn't really like the way and other Linda was treating those stinky hippos, even if they are awful, and they make me want to vomit out of my nose just because of their smell. So I guess I've got to be brave and go and tell her to stop it. And other Linda, I don't like the way you're talking to the stinky hippos.
Oh, don't you? Well, that's very rude because they really like it, and my change to the sound effects app I have on my Linda phone, they love that. I have studied stinky hippology, you know, and I have a first from River Horse Academy. Just look at them. Do they look sad types?
Oh, no, actually, all the hippos are smiling. I didn't even know hippos could smile. I didn't realise they like being told off and having people be mean to them. That's very strange, but no wonder they always seemed so happy when I said their smell was so disgusting. I thought my nose was going to run away and join the circus. I'm sorry, and other Linda. I'm not an expert. Please do forgive me and keep cleaning the stinky hippos. I really appreciate it.
No, you are rude, so I'm off. Now you have to deal with these wet and still quite stinky hippos instead.
No, wait, I haven't put my hazmat suit back on and the smell is awful. Oh, now the hippos are splashing stinky water everywhere, which, it smells like fart soup. And now they've escaped. Ah, great. Now I have no Linda and instead hundreds of stinky wet hippos coating the place with a horrible odour. All I wanted to do this week was look up fishlies, fishykins, or whatever they're called. And all that's left to do, I guess, is, round up several hundred now slippy, stinky hippos. Oh, and of course, read this outro from Anonymous. That was the show! Pooh! Hope you have a stinky hippo-free day! P.S. Here is a Lee. It makes Linda disappear for 10 more infinities. Bye, poops!
You have been listening to
Comedy Club for Kids presents.
Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense!
Radio nonsense!
Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! It's the end.